Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? I go by RB, and this is Philly Take with RB. Like always, if you're enjoying the content on the channel, be sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe if you're new, and ding that notification bell so you're instantly notified whenever I upload or go live. And today, we are back for our third preview prediction video of the season. Week 3, Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Cincinnati Bengals at 1 p.m. on Sunday at the Link. Both teams entering this game at 0-2, but it's a little bit different from each side, as the Bengals are showing a lot of promise with Joe Burrow. At least he is looking like their future guy. And on the other side, the Philadelphia Eagles are disappointing a lot of fans right now. We are quickly falling on our face, and we must pick it up this weekend. I gotta say, first thoughts, first initial reaction, I'm kind of worried. I am worried. The Philadelphia Eagles have lost 3 out of the last 4 games against the Cincinnati Bengals. We have not beat them since 2000, and the other game that we didn't lose was a tie. So we have struggled against the Cincinnati Bengals for some reason. Back in 2016, in the first year of Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson, this team played a terrible game and got blown out by the Bengals, and it was probably one of the worst performances that we've seen from Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson. Things have to get turned around. The Eagles have 3 points combined in the second halves of games this season. The Philadelphia Eagles have not put up over 20 points in the first 2 weeks of the season, and now with a guy out like Jalen Reagor, we're going to have to figure some things out. I'm kind of worried. Let me first off say this is a must-win. This is a must-win. I've been saying it all week. The Philadelphia Eagles must come out and capitalize. They must win. They must show us that they have what it takes to turn this thing around, because if they go down 0-3, not only is the probability very, very unlikely for them to turn this ship around, but they will be mentally derailed from losing to a team like the Cincinnati Bengals. No disrespect attached at all. The Bengals are just not in winning mode right now, and the Eagles have expectations. They cannot let us down this weekend. Let's get into this game. Let's talk about some of the keys to winning this game. The number one key to this game for the Philadelphia Eagles is to get back to the fundamentals and just play football. Put together some quality drives on both sides of the field, man. Like on offense, we have to get in this flow and put together a nice drive or two. Like we go down, we're putting things together. We cannot make dumb decisions. We can't throw an interception. We can't have an early fumble, an early turnover. We cannot do things like that. We have to structure some of these drives. Like I said, Jalen Reagor is out. A couple other guys are out. We're going to have to utilize our 2 tight end set. I don't care if people want to get away from that. That is what this team is predicated on. Feed Miles Sanders. Like I always say, let the run open up the pass. Carson Wentz has to delegate some of that. Doug Peterson, everybody has to be better. Use all of your weapons, get everybody involved, and most importantly, get down and get in the red zone and put the ball in the end zone and put up 7, man. I'm tired of seeing this. I'm tired of us shying away in the second half. No, keep the pedal to the metal. Put your foot down and get some points on the board and really just get back to basic football. You don't have to go downfield every play. You don't have to be a superhero every single drive. And on the other side, we already know that debacle we saw last week cannot happen again. Jim Schwartz needs to put together a better game plan, because he openly admitted it. The Eagles did not have the right game plan against the Rams, and we all saw it. You better get this one right. You better put pressure on Joe Burrow and be able to cover these receivers and overall just play much better than you did last week. My number 2 key to this game, and this is probably the most important key, this is making a rookie look like a rookie. And obviously I'm talking about the number 1 overall draft pick, Joe Burrow. Like I said, even though they lost, he threw the ball 61 times last week. He had over 300 yards. He had 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. He is on the upscale, and Joe Burrow, I'm telling you, when he has had time to throw, he looks very, very comfortable. He looks very comfortable. He's doing the right things. He's getting the ball out quick, and he just has that flow. And let's not even forget, he has a cannon of an arm. We knew that from his last year at LSU and even before that. I mean, Joe Burrow is going to be a stud in this league, and if you give him time to throw, it's not going to be good. Joe Burrow has taken 3 sacks in each of his first 2 games, and I expect the Eagles to put even more pressure on him. We have to get this D-line going. We saw it last week. We had 1 sack. We're hearing that Fletcher Cox is day-to-day. Hopefully he can play, but we have more than that. We have so much depth on this defensive line. You have to send extra pressure. You have to disguise some blitzes. You have to get pressure on Joe Burrow, because if you let this guy sit in the pocket, he's going to tear us apart all day. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about Tyler Boyd, who's put up a couple 1,000-yard seasons in a row. I'm still worried about A.J. Green because I still believe in him. I know he's getting older, his body's breaking down, but A.J. Green can still go up on some of our corners. I'm worried about Joe Mixon, who's put up a 1,000-yard season a few seasons in a row, and he can run it down our throat. We better step up, and we better put pressure on this offense, and most importantly, Joe Burrow, because he is the key to that ignition, and if we let him get going in this game, I'm a little worried he's not going to turn back, and he's just going to exploit our defense. When he has been under pressure, I've seen, his mechanics are thrown off, his throws are off, his decision-making, just as a normal rookie would. And my third key to beating the Cincinnati Bengals for the Eagles, this is more speaking to like an overarching type of message to the Eagles, and it's make winning plays. You know what I mean? First off, situational football. I feel like in certain situations, decisions, this goes from the coaching all the way to the players, we're just not getting it done. In crunch time, when we need a big play, when we need a heroic throw, when we need an 8-yard run, we only get 6 yards. We only get 7. You know what I mean? Like, yes, there are some guys stepping up so far, but I haven't seen those big game-changing plays. You know what I mean? I haven't seen a 40-yard run breakaway from a running back. I haven't seen a punt return for 50 yards. I haven't seen a big turnover that puts us right in the opposing red zone. They come far and few in between, but we haven't had any of them. We haven't been able to shift the momentum at any time. I mean, we did last week, but that was more so the mistake of the Rams in terms of dropping that punt. I think the Eagles need like that big explosive flashy turnover or big breakaway run, just something to get us going. Maybe Carson Wentz escapes some pressure and throws one downfield to a guy wide open for 50 yards. You know what I mean? We need something like that. We need to make winning plays, and in crunch time, in big third down situations, we need to execute, and we need to continue and extend drives. Now I want to talk about my standout Eagles for the week. As we always do, we pick 2 Eagles who I think are going to have a great game. For me this week, one is Miles Sanders, almost rushing for 100 yards last week in his first appearance of the season. You can see Miles Sanders has it, and I'm expecting him to build upon it. He only had 20 carries. Still, I don't think we are running the ball enough. I would expect Miles Sanders to get even more carries in a game like this. I hope Doug learns from his previous mistakes and does not get pass happy. Feed Miles Sanders, feed him on the ground and in the passing attack as well. Let Miles Sanders do his thing. I think he's going to have over 100 yards this week, and I'm expecting some good finally changes to this kind of scheme that we are running, because we're way too predictable. Let Miles Sanders operate and do his thing. I think Sanders is going to have a great game. The other Eagle that I'm picking, I was going to go with one of the tight ends, but I think it's going to be Zach Ertz, because, again, Zach Ertz has been much below his average, much below what we expect from Zach Ertz. I think he's going to come out here and ball. We're going to be using a lot of our tight ends. Like I said, D-Jax hasn't been too involved. I haven't seen a guy like Greg Ward. Obviously, JJ is like non-existent right now. And now with Jalen Reagor out for some time, we're going to have to go back to what works for us, and that is utilizing our guys over the middle of the field in the slants, 5 yards at a time. Use Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz. I think Ertz, it's time for him to kind of step up. He had a good game last week, but it was very quiet. I would expect some Zach Ertz throws in some big-time situations, like a third down or in the red zone. I think Ertz is going to have a touchdown and at least 60 or 70 yards. Now it's time to talk about my breakout Eagle for the week, as we always do, picking an Eagle that we think might be, slept on or might be not as involved as we would expect. I think this week it's going to be Greg Ward. Greg Ward had a couple nice catches in the opener, and then he was really non-existent this past week. Greg Ward is a guy that we need to utilize in the slot. Like I said, we're going to see a lot more development in the short game, on the dig routes, on the out routes. Get Greg Ward involved in this offense, even in some screens. Greg Ward is a guy who showed us so much character and so much leadership down the end of last season, and he has hands. He can catch the ball. I don't know why he's being kind of faded out right now. I would expect Greg Ward to be a guy that the Bengals might not plan for as much, but I'm expecting him to come out here and post at least 4 or 5 catches this week. And now it's time for RB's weekly hot take. In this game, I'm going to go with the defense because I already talked about a lot of the offense. I think the Eagles defense has to step up, and I think they're going to be on a mission this week to show that last week is not the new norm, as we would say. I think a guy like Malik Jackson is going to step up. I don't think it's going to be one of our main guys. Like I said, Cox is dealing with injury. A couple of the other guys are still battling some minor things. I think Malik Jackson is going to step up and record 1.5 sacks on Joe Burrow. And here's this. I think the Eagles defense finally gets a turnover. I think Joe Burrow is forced into 2 bad interceptions.
Perfect.
And now it's time to talk about our score prediction. Eagles and Bengals, like we said, this is a must-win game, and the Bengals are not a good team. Right now, the Eagles are not either, but we know the talent on this team. The Philadelphia Eagles must come out. Your ass better be on fire this week. It's not going to be perfect, but I think the Eagles are finally going to wake up. Hopefully, all this chit-chat around the league kind of shifts the focus off, and the Philadelphia Eagles realize the task at hand and realize that they have to turn this thing around right now. I think Doug Peterson or somebody else has to deliver a message to get these guys riled up. I think the Philadelphia Eagles go down to the fourth quarter, and I think it's actually going to be a pretty close game, but I think the Eagles finally break the 20-point barrier, and we win this game with a late field goal by a final score of 26-23. You guys let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments section. What do the Eagles need to do to win this game? Who are you most importantly looking at to step up in Sunday's game? And overall, is this a must-win game for the Eagles? Give me all your thoughts down below in the comments section. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Perfect.